Today, we're revisiting one of the most well-known stories in the Bible, the 10 Plagues of Egypt. Now, many of us know the story, but have you ever wondered, could there be more to these plagues than just punishment? In Exodus chapter 12, verse 12, we hear God say something intriguing. "I will bring judgment on all the gods of Egypt. I am the Lord." But what if each of these plagues was carefully chosen as a statement against the gods Egypt worshipped? Let's dive in and explore if there might be a hidden meaning behind each one. Plague number 1. The Nile turns to blood. Our journey begins with the Nile, the lifeblood of Egypt. The first plague turns this sacred river to blood, killing the fish and making the water undrinkable. But what if this plague was more than just a display of power? Egypt worshipped the Nile as a source of fertility and life, tied to the god Hapi. By striking the river, could it be that God was making a powerful statement? Perhaps challenging Egypt's faith in Hapi and showing that even the most revered symbols of life are under his control? Plague number 2. Frogs everywhere. Next, we encounter frogs coming up from the waters and spreading into every corner of Egypt. To the Egyptians, frogs were sacred, linked to the goddess Heqet, a symbol of fertility. But in this plague, the frogs don't represent life, they're everywhere, in homes, kitchens, and beds. It makes us wonder, could it be that this plague was a disruption of their beliefs? A sign that Heqet's power was being undermined? Plague number 3, gnats or lice. Now imagine this. Suddenly, out of nowhere, gnats are everywhere, born from the very dust. Egyptian priests prided themselves on ritual cleanliness, but this plague forced them into a state of impurity. Could it be that even their rituals, their sense of purity and order, were being challenged by God? Plague number 4. Swarms of flies. The fourth plague brought swarms of flies or biting insects, swarming everywhere. And something fascinating happened here. This plague hit only the Egyptians, sparing the Israelites living in Goshen. Could it be that this was a reminder of protection over God's people? It's as though the message was saying, you may think you are powerful, but there's a boundary that can't be crossed. Plague number 5. Livestock disease. Then came a devastating blow, disease spreading through Egypt's livestock. In a society dependent on agriculture, the loss was catastrophic. Cattle were also sacred, representing gods like Hathor and Apis. Could this plague have been a direct affront to these deities, or even a message that Egypt's strength was fragile? Are we starting to see a pattern? Each of these plagues might be a statement, challenging Egypt's beliefs in its gods and revealing their limitations. Plague number 6. Boils. Then came painful boils, breaking out on everyone. Priests, magicians, officials, no one was immune. Could it be that this plague exposed the vulnerability of Egypt's spiritual leaders? The priests who were supposed to keep evil at bay couldn't protect even themselves from this sudden outbreak. Plague number 7. Hail. Next came hail, an intense storm that flattened crops and caused destruction across Egypt. The sky, believed to be under the protection of Nut, goddess of the heavens, failed to protect the land. Could it be that God was demonstrating his power over both the earth and sky, as if to say, even the heavens bow before me? Plague number 8. Locusts. After the hail came locusts, devouring whatever was left. These insects symbolized a stripping away of all prosperity, leaving Egypt barren. Once again, Egypt's gods, those tied to the land like Osiris, seemed powerless to stop it. Plague number 9. Darkness. Complete, inescapable darkness for 3 days. In Egypt, the sun god Ra was one of the most powerful deities. To experience total darkness meant Ra was silent, unseen. Could it be that this was the ultimate test of faith for the Egyptians? A moment where even the sun, their strongest symbol of life and power, seemed to vanish? Finally, we reach the 10th plague, the death of the firstborn. every household in Egypt felt its weight. In one night, the legacy of Pharaoh, who was seen as a god, was shaken. Could it be that this final plague was a message that even the future of Egypt's divine rulers was under the sovereignty of the God of Israel? So, what do you think? Were the plagues just random acts of destruction, or could it be that they carried a deeper message, revealing God's judgment on the false gods of Egypt one by one? Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed exploring these mysteries with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time as we continue uncovering the secrets of the Bible. Thanks for watching.